If you've ever had one of those stodgy, really mundane sausage rolls from the convenience store, well, I'd understand if you don't love them. But if you make them at home, they're unbelievable and can be completely scrumptious. So today I'm going to show you how to make my beautiful lamb and harissa sausage rolls using some phyllo pastry. So to start with, I've got some pine nuts, and I want about 80 grams of pine nuts into a dry pan here. So I'm just going to turn the heat up there and just wait until they're lightly golden brown. So for the meat that we're using in our sausage rolls, I like to use a mixture. So 200 grams of lamb mince, and of course you need a little bit of fat in sausage rolls so they stay really nice and moist. So I like to use sausages. These are merguez sausages, which is just a lamb sausage, but you can use any other sausage that you like. So about 300 grams there, and these ones I've taken the skin off. And of course when you're making sausage rolls, you really want to give them a good hit of flavour. So I've got some cumin here, and I've just toasted that off, about a teaspoon of cumin, along with some parsley, so just finely chopped parsley. And I've got some onion here, which I'm going to saute off in my pan after my pine nuts are done. So let's just give them a quick toss. They're looking good. What we do is just pop them straight into our bowl with all the meat. We'll pop that pan straight back on the heat, a little bit of olive oil, and then we can start sauteing off our onion. So I really do think it's important to saute off the onion. If you don't saute off the onion, you've got quite that harsh onion flavour in the sausage rolls. I don't really like that, and it will also be a little bit crunchy. So we're just going to give it a head start, just on a medium heat there. Also a pinch of salt in there, and that'll help to ensure that they won't burn. Okay, and the last ingredient we're adding to this is harissa, which is a spiced chili Tunisian paste. It's got a bit of a kick to it, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. If you want to do these sausage rolls for the kiddies, of course, you can just completely leave it out. Okay, now we need to start mixing this. Those onions are cooked, they're softened perfectly. What I'm going to do, turn the heat off and just allow them to cool down slightly. We don't want to put them straight into that raw meat because it'll start to cook it. So just let them cool down slightly while we give this a really good mix. So I'm going to start it with a spoon just to get that harissa in there. I'm going to take that out, and very clean hands, I promise you. We're just going to really squish all of those ingredients together so it's combined evenly. And look at that harissa, bright red, it's absolutely delicious. And we can start with our phyllo pastry. So just get some butter here, and we just want to melt that. When we're layering our phyllo pastry, we need to use butter. That'll make sure that it stays golden brown and crispy. So into just a pot, we'll turn that on, and we'll start getting our phyllo pastry ready. So when you're using phyllo pastry, it's always really important to keep it covered when you're using it so it doesn't dry out. So we'll get our first layer ready to go, and you can see, so paper thin. You think it would be actually quite delicate, but it's actually quite pliable. So first layer straight down, cover that up. With a pastry brush, we get our butter and simply brush that all over with our butter. Be generous with this because we just want to use it like glue. Like I said before, we want about 3 or 4 layers for this. Join them together and it's as easy as that. So let's do a few more layers and then we can start filling it. Is just get our phyllo pastry stack. We're going to turn it around horizontally, and we're going to cut that straight down the middle, and they're ready to go. So back to our meat mixture. The onions have cooled down nicely. I'm going to pop that in, give it one last mix. And you can use a spoon to put this meat straight onto the phyllo, or just to make life a little easier, get one of these disposable piping bags, and this just makes it so easy to pipe on so we get that even sausage throughout the whole lot. See how easy that is to do? And especially if you're making quite a lot of these, if you've got a party, this gives you less headaches. Last one. So all we have to do is roll this up so nice and tightly, fold the phyllo pastry over the meat, tuck it under and roll like this. We're going to get our butter again, butter that. And one more little ingredient. I love the taste of cumin through this. So I've got whole cumin seeds here. They've got a beautiful, nutty, almost peppery flavour, and I think they just look beautiful just on top. And with a serrated knife, I think it's easier with a serrated knife, all we have to do is cut our mini sausage rolls. So I'm going to place this onto a baking tray, pop it in the oven, and they're going to take around 15 to 20 minutes to cook, or until they're really golden brown, and the oven is set to 170 degrees. So our sausage rolls are ready. You can see they're golden brown. I promise you, when you make these at home, you will never ever eat a sausage roll from a convenience store ever again. And on top of it, I should have mentioned this before, you can actually make these ahead of time, pop them in the freezer so they're just ready to go. And look, if you're a purist, of course you can serve this with tomato sauce, but really what I love is to serve this with a really nice yogurt sauce with a little bit of lemon in it.